Grace, thank you so much for doing this. I am so excited to meet you
I
guys.
am too. This is awesome.
Thank you. I know things must be busy around for you guys, and just the fact that you made time for this, I truly, truly appreciate it. Wow. Okay, so Grace, I was telling you like how I'm like when I talk to people on the internet, and I feel like I've spoken to you a dozen times here and there. I have a picture of you in my head. I have like your life is a certain way in my head because obviously I see such small snippets of your life, right?
Yeah.
With you, with your beautiful baby or your husband.
Yep.
What's going on otherwise that we don't see? What's going on, Grace, in your life? Tell us what's
Um,
going on in your life.
well, we're in my office right now
Okay.
because I'm a teacher
Uh-huh.
and I've been teaching online uh,
Mm-hmm.
in the pandemic. Because I'm on maternity leave, I only teach occasionally. I get to book my own hours with
Okay.
students who are learning English.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm going back to work in about 3 weeks, which is exciting and scary. And he'll be starting daycare then.
So back to work
Yeah.
after how many like so back to work full time basically that means.
Yes. Yeah. I will be
Wow.
doing substitute teaching. So probably I've been told to expect full-time hours, but it could be a little bit more flexible.
And this is the first time after how long?
Um, I haven't been working full-time since June 2020. So
Okay.
it'll be about 14 months. But I feel like I haven't worked in a year and a half because of the pandemic.
How have you adjusted? Like teachers, I feel like their job was kind of difficult to begin with, and with the pandemic, like I can't imagine being in front of a computer and
It it felt like being in my first year of teaching all over again.
oh my God.
And I was a private school teacher at the time. I'm transitioning to the public board this year. And we didn't have anything in place. We didn't have Google Classroom, nothing. And they
Uh-huh.
literally told us one morning, get out of your school. The government did. I was giving a test and looking at the news and texting my boss saying, I don't think we should be here right now.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then we had to slowly tell all the students, of course, they have cell phones. So it was leaking and they were asking, should we be in school right now? And it was just insane.
So you just basically one day suddenly just life
Yeah,
changed, eh?
exactly.
And
Yeah.
how have you adapted? Do have you feel you've adapted to the online teaching world, or is it still difficult?
It's, I found it very difficult at first. So I actually, while on mat leave, took a course on e-learning tools so that I could feel a little more confident making things for my classroom. And I didn't want to be caught off guard again with all these in-person online, in-person online. So
So
I
Grace,
feel better now.
how am I just and did that, it's interesting that you took a you as a teacher took a course to teach how to teach online.
Yeah, yeah, I did.
How do you learn? Like my question is not like okay that's fantastic, but how do you have a process to learn new things? I've been kind of on this kick, and I'm just interested how adults learn new things.
Well, adults learn things the same way kids do. Some do really well with reading, others do really well listening to podcasts or watching other people. I like to watch and then sort of get hands on. So I found when I was learning about online courses, the best thing I could do was to make things for my online class. My son is feeding the dog all his treats right now. Uh,
Like dogs are like that's why they love kids.
yeah, exactly.
My daughter kind of as soon as she sits down for any meal, she breaks off a piece and this is for Lola, and like Lola
Yep.
is literally right there.
Yeah,
She
you can't
knows the
see her,
whole
but
game.
Melon is right under the high chair,
She
ready to
they like
go.
yeah, dogs are much smarter than they make out to
Yep,
make out to be. Eh? Uh, Sorry, Grace, I
it's
derailed
okay.
your story. And let your son do whatever he wants. What can you tell me his name?
His name is Laszlo, or
Laszlo.
Laz for, yeah.
And why Laszlo?
My husband picked it because he wanted, my husband's name is John.
Okay.
And my husband is tired of being one of 100 Johns in the world. Did you drop your toy? Oh goodness, I can't reach it. Here, have a banana toy. My husband wanted something that was a little more unique. And then he started having linguistic requirements. He wanted an L and a Z, and I said, I'm out, name the kid.
Wow. He went that deep, eh?
Yeah, he was like, I want a Z in there. I want it to end in a vowel. And I said, you tell me, and I'll just approve them. And then when he was born, we had a couple of names at standby, and he just was a Laszlo or a Laz.
Wow. And this is basically John's revenge to the world, that because I am
think
so
so,
commonly named, I'm like another one of 100.
Yeah.
My child is going to be super unique. Laszlo. Beautiful name though.
Yes. Yeah, it's unique. And I don't think he's going to have 100 Laszlos in class with him.
He's going to be one of like the only Laszlo that anybody knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, amazing, beautiful. But I love that story. Like that makes complete sense. So I named my daughter Zara because I have the longest name in the world, Mohammed Gandhi. It is a mouthful. And I wanted something so simple to the ears, Zara. Nothing. I didn't even put an H in between. So I understand where John is coming from. I would have done the same.
So I had a good friend in university named Zara. I think it's a beautiful name.
Beautiful. Just it's a simple, nice sounding name.
Easy.
So Grace, now what, in that pandemic, and I'm assuming Laszlo was born in the pandemic, or he was. How was that transition, raising a child during a pandemic where your normal faculties are not available it's like normal people who you can count on are not available very easily? How was life then?
It was not great. I wrote on the blog about it that I had pretty bad depression when I was pregnant. And part of it was because everything was gone. All of my support systems weren't available. I couldn't go out and have tea with my friends. I couldn't go see my mom. I didn't know if my husband was going to be allowed in the hospital with me. He was.
Right.
But it just became, there was no precedent, right?
Right.
You know, the things that my mom did to cope, I couldn't do. I couldn't have her come over and stay with me for 2 weeks.
And that caused a depression, or the depression existed even before?
It existed. I wasn't having a great pregnancy. I was very sick the first trimester, and I was having to take a lot of time off work. And then I think that with the pandemic caused the depression while I was pregnant, and knowing what I was going to face, because it was not ending anytime soon.
Right.
He was born in October 2020.
Right.
We were very lucky. We had a midwife, and they were incredibly supportive. And midwives, after the baby's born, they come to you. So that was very helpful that they were there for extra support, and they let us call them any time of the day.
So the midwives formed part of your support system when your own family. Oh, beautiful.
Absolutely.
We had midwives too. Zara was born at home, so we know how amazing midwives are.
They're wonderful.
Like I don't know how not everybody goes to midwives. Like they are like your moms who are there all the time and who don't crib about things.
Exactly.
That was part of your support system. What else did you kind of lean on?
My parents actually quarantined for a week or two after the baby was born so that they could come see him as soon as possible.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing how much like grandparents, like that's beautiful.
Yeah, we live in, my husband's in the military, so we live in military housing, which is kind of like the suburbs. Everyone's quite close together. So social distancing isn't always possible from our neighbors.
Right.
But that was great because then our neighbors were in our bubble and they could go and get things for us. They watched the dog while I was in labor. it was just great to have that extended family.
And so you are surrounded by other military families as well, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so yeah, so that there's already a bond over there, and then obviously during the pandemic, people were just closer.
Mhm.
Wow, Grace. Like
Yeah.
I cannot imagine going through the stress of just a pandemic, and I've been talking to other parents as well, and it's different how different people coped with that new world.
Yeah. It was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
I don't want to undersell it at all. It was very hard.
You look really
Um,
good right now. Seem
thank
very
you.
well. You seem very rested. You seem happy. What changed? What got you out of it? What made the
Um,
difference?
Antidepressants, a good therapist, and then making time for myself and for my family and friends, and finding ways to see them. So, we've been very good about following the rules so that when things do loosen up, we can go and see family. And he has a friend now that he goes and sees weekly. So
Oh
he has a
wow.
playmate. Um,
Nice.
she's his playmate's name is Joe. She's a month younger than him,
Oh
and her
wow.
mom is a week older than me. So we were friends growing up, and they're friends growing up.
Oh
So
wow.
that's
So
quite nice.
so you guys are actually friends from like
Yeah,
yeah. Oh wow.
yeah. We met in high school, but yeah, we grew up in the same area, and yeah, it's
That's
great.
amazing. Okay, so now Laszlo and Joe, at least they can kind of go and meet each other.
Yeah,
Are you planning on having more kids, Grace? How's that going? Like,
we
what's that
we aren't
family look
sure.
like? Yeah.
We aren't sure. Right now, we're not. I would say that we're not. Um, we don't have any firm plans to have more kids.
What's
We've
your if what's your take on it? Like, what do you think is
so
because I'm also confused. Like, I want to have another kid, and
yeah, I know for us, daycare costs are a huge problem.
uh-huh,
And being a military family, my husband's guaranteed a job for life,
right.
but because we might move, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I am a very career and family person. I like to balance between the two. So I
Correct.
don't think I could stay home with kids.
Right.
Um, Having depression, I will say it was not a great pregnancy. So I'm not, ooh, that was a tough bite, buddy. Um, I'm not eager to repeat that experience. We have talked about adoption though. I have family members that are adopted, and they are as much a part of my family as the blood relatives. So I think if we do have a second child, that's the route we'd go.
Yeah, even I've kind of thought about adoption as well, like for our family, but I can't seem to convince Sophie about it. But even I
Yeah,
don't know if I'm convinced as well, and I'm kind of like I'm not sure about it
it
yet.
has its own challenges.
Yeah,
My grandparents adopted two children um, through the Child Protection Agency, CAS in Canada,
right.
and that comes with its own emotional burdens
I can
too.
imagine.
Yeah, they had many foster kids. I wasn't alive at that point, but they've told me how difficult it was to see kids come in and out of their house. And a couple of times, for whatever reason, just I know the last baby they had, they just couldn't let her go, and
Wow,
so they adopted her.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah, yeah. For in my, I've seen a few adoptions like within our families, like people giving kids to
Mhm.
each other, and that hasn't gone particularly well.
Yeah,
That
that's
part of it, and I feel that that has kind of scarred me against adoption. But
yeah,
obviously when it comes to what your grandparents did, or what most people do, is actually bring in kids in their homes who need that family.
yeah.
That makes more
And
sense.
I
Yeah.
don't think at the time the intention was to necessarily adopt those kids, but for whatever reason, oh my goodness,
Laszlo,
Laszlo
how
just
did you figure
destroyed.
that out? That's fine, don't worry about it, Grace, it's okay. I think you should
It's
protect
good.
the map. You should protect the map. Forget the interview. Get the map.
It's from Dollar Tree. It'll be fine.
It will be
I'll get
fine. Okay.
another map if he eats it.
But maybe he'll cut himself, Laszlo.
That's true. Honey, you don't need to eat the map.
Yep.
Here it goes. All done.
Grace, I hear people like a lot of women talk about it, and I've heard a couple of our dads in the group, Unsnapped group as well, talk about how they find the cloth diapering part. Oh, Laszlo is on a roll today. Eh?
He is. He has learned how to grab things, and now he's going to grab everything. Here, have my tea. You can't get that open. So
yeah, exactly. As long as there's no tea in it, you're fine, Laszlo. Go at it.
Yeah.
That they find like this whole laundry, doing cloth diaper laundry, sitting down, doing an arrangement, that to them is relaxing.
I actually agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I think a lot of people think the laundry must be a lot of work, but for me, you put it in the washing machine and then forget about it for an hour. The washing machine does the bulk of the work. Come down whenever I'm ready. Like my laundry's in right now. I just haven't pushed the button. You are on a roll, sir. So that it will be quiet in the background. I just kind of do it as I can. So last night I did my pre-wash. This morning I got up and as I was doing my chores, put in the main wash.
Yes, Laszlo.
And I'll be putting it in the dryer when we're done here. And sometime tonight or tomorrow, probably while we're watching TV, we'll fold the diapers and put them away.
And so when you say we'll fold the diapers, it's you and John doing it together?
Usually he tries to help. He thinks it's fun to pull them out and throw them everywhere. So we'll make a game of it.
And is John as much part of that cloth diapering journey and the whole thing of raising a child as you are, or is it one person doing more or less? How's that balance?
I do more only because I'm at home on that week.
Got it.
Once he is home, it's 50-50. And we kind of balance the household needs with Laszlo's needs. So sometimes if he's getting a tooth, sometimes he needs more attention, and my husband
Laszlo, you are going to take the whole house.
The whole office is gone. The whole office is done today.
And this guy is literally just sitting on his high chair. Imagine if you were loose.
This is why he's in the high chair and not loose right now. Utter chaos.
Oh my God, the amount of energy this child has.
Yeah, he's 10 and a half months.
Oh my goodness.
He's
Grace, you'll have fun, huh?
Oh yeah. So look, my husband,
like he's not missing a beat.
No, he's gonna play peekaboo. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So my husband was the one who decided that we were going to cloth diaper.
Is that right?
He had to convince me, which is hilarious because now I'm an ambassador.
Insane. So John was the one who, and what brought him to that decision?
He is a pretty eco-conscious person. We do what we can. You know, some days we use paper plates. Most of the time we don't.
Right.
And sometimes if we're having a bad day, we use disposable diapers. But he does like to reduce waste. He hopped on the reusable straw train as soon as that became a thing.
Yeah.
So we're looking for ways to reduce plastic, reduce waste. And I'm also very cost-minded.
Okay.
So, mom, yeah.
So that one part of it appealed to his kind of personality, and the other part appealed to yours.
Yeah. So as I was very anxious about the laundry part of it too.
Okay.
So whenever I have friends who ask me about it, I say to them, it's not that hard. Like Little Helper has an app that will help you build a wash routine. And that's all we've done. I know.
And people actually don't understand, like you are a cloth diapering company and you have an app for leaks. You have an app for fitting. And I'm like, because why not?
Yeah, and the Delight team, like shout out to them, always answer my questions. It's like so quickly. I've never met customer service like this. I, and just like I've thrown some weird questions at them. He's okay, but he has a little bit of a kidney issue. So he
Okay.
has ultrasounds twice a year.
Uh-huh.
Perfectly fine. Just
Uh-huh.
we have to monitor it. And I had to ask them how to get ultrasound goo out of a diaper. They
Uh-huh.
were quite helpful. So it just,
These
you know,
women have at Delight have so much compassion for
yeah,
other folks. And you know why? I know the answer actually, Grace.
yeah,
Because they are one of you.
yeah.
They
It's like
are
talking
you.
to a friend.
They are literally you in the
Yeah,
mirror. That is why. And I tried replicating it with other people because I was doing it before. And then I
hmm,
wanted to do what I wanted to replicate what I was doing with other people. And I tried hiring people here and there, and I couldn't. And I finally kind of just lucked out and finding that, oh my God, can we not hire our patrons to serve other new patrons?
yeah,
And that has worked out fantastically well because only they can understand what kind of love and care we give to a customer and then give it back. So yeah,
yeah,
you're right. I agree that these guys, and to give you something so specific, I can imagine somebody sat down, asked a couple of questions around the table to people, did some research, and then came back to you.
yeah,
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story with me,
yeah.
Grace, because that means that the Lil Helper team is actually kind of living up to their promise of being good to their customers.
Absolutely.
And what other, I want to hear some other strange stuff you've thrown at them because I feel like you have a few.
I have had I have a Samsung washer, which is notorious in if you've been on the forums. Mine had the suds error just
Mm,
on repeat. I
mm,
can't tell you the sheer volume of emails about the suds error that have gone back and forth. And ultimately, I ended up switching detergents, and I was on
and
Tide Free and Clear, but that's becomes kind of hard to find in Canada sometimes.
okay.
So we switched to regular Tide,
Hmm.
and no one's had a reaction, and the machine seems happier. So
Wow.
I, it's,
And
but
this problem about the suds error was solved with the Delight team, or did you kind of just do it with trial and error on your own? How did it go?
Delight trial and error, they gave me really great options for trial and error with adding more or less borax, trying more or less detergents, switching the wash cycle, trying different amounts of bulking with it.
Wow.
Um,
The
my machine
patience, huh?
really, yeah,
It's amazing that even like and the good part is that most people they don't go through this kind of learning curve as maybe you did.
yeah,
Most for most folks, it's just like get the product, the diapers are here, here's the wash routine, go at it. Nobody looks back.
yep,
And and so one and but the Delight team specifically is there for folks like you that hey who need that extra help, make sure that
yeah,
we can provide it so that they don't kind of slip through the cracks per se, in the sense that because you didn't get the help you couldn't use cloth diapers and then cloth diapers
exactly.
become bad.
Yeah, and I've definitely met a few people through Kijiji who cloth diapers, they just couldn't find the right solution for them. They
Yeah.
couldn't find the right wash routine. They couldn't find the right overnight fit. Um, and they gave up.
Yeah, and
So,
this is, I think, and I wanted to make sure, at least with the our with Lil
yeah,
Helper, that we can minimize that. And I'm sure we have let down a few people here and there, but we try our best not to kind of make that, or it doesn't. I don't think it happens on a regular, but I'm sure it must have happened in the past. But that's yeah, that is one thing that I wanted to prevent is get people
yes,
getting burnt out for the few people
yes.
who get in. Grace, you are part of the ambassador group. Tell me what do
Yep.
you do? What's your like? What activities do you participate in? What is something that you have done as an
Uh,
ambassador that you feel, oh my God, I did this? I talked somebody. Okay, give me an example. I'm curious.
I find it to be a really nice creative outlet,
Okay.
especially, and that's why I joined.
Okay.
I like to have projects that I work on. I'm a very busy person. I like being busy. So I wanted something that would encourage creativity. So I joined, and I joined TikTok because of it and started making TikToks about cloth diapers. I also just like to help people. So it was nice to give that a focus. I know. Do you want to chew that? Here, you want to come sit on my lap? So I like to, help people who are starting out or who are interested. I have a few friends who've started cloth diapering and who've asked questions because of it. My one friend, her 5-week-old, just had her first full day in cloth yesterday, and that felt really good. And I helped.
And that felt good. Why? Why did it feel good to you?
Because it's nice to see that I was able to help her, because she really wanted to do the eco-friendly diapers. And she was nervous about starting because her daughter is quite skinny. So I pointed her to other ambassadors who've done skinny leg hack videos and all the resources. So it was nice to see, like, yes, she succeeded in what she wanted to.
And you helped her.
And I helped her.
Wow.
Yeah.
How often does that happen? Like, it doesn't happen very often. Like, how often I've tried putting people on things here and there, and it's very difficult to.
It can be.
The fact that you could allow or even teach somebody to do this is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that you are using it almost as a creative outlet to kind of see. And does it allow you to? Is it also that interaction part that you enjoy, or
I do. I do love talking to people, and especially people who share something in common. Like, they're interested in cloth diapering if they're on the Unsnapped group or on the cloth diapering TikToks. And I like to help people who are also anxious, because I am an anxious person. I have anxiety. So I like to reassure people, the laundry isn't as hard as you feel like it's going to be. It's not that.
And I think that's the biggest piece that I think people are worried about is the laundry part. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. I think if I really hated laundry, if that was the chore I hated the most, then I probably would be.
Yeah. But was that laundry bit more in your head, or is that real or no?
It was all in my head, to be honest. It's not as difficult as it seems. It's not that hard to come up with a wash routine that works for you and your machine, and even your preferred detergent. It's usually not that hard.
Wow. And I agree. And this is actually the consensus with almost everybody across the board you talk to. Like, you think laundry is difficult, but it's not that bad, especially once you start.
I will say I would much rather do a load of laundry than take the diaper genie out to the trash. That thing smells awful.
The diaper genie, I have smelt it in people's home. It smells, I hate terrible to say the word, it smells like death.
It smells like rotten poop.
And it's not fun. Like, I have no idea how, if you were given the option of keeping poop for 1 or 2 weeks in your home, and that thing stinking up, especially on dry, humid days. Oh my God.
It's awful. Yeah. I'm also in Southern Ontario. It's humid. It's hot here. It's upstairs. That diaper genie is nasty.
Diaper genie, people don't know the smell of a diaper. You can't describe it, all right? Like,
it's awful.
It's I'm just kind of heebie-jeebies just thinking about it, actually.
I have gagged so many times just taking the refill out. And people think cloth diapering must be gross because you have a bucket of diapers, but if you rinse them, they don't smell.
They don't smell at all.
No.
They don't.
It smells like a wet towel. That's what it smells like.
Yeah, exactly. And you're washing it every 2-3 days. And that's, I think this is like people, and And something like this, Grace, this is why I feel like having people like you on the talking like this tells them like, oh my God, these are not people who are living in like the hills or something like that.
No.
These are like professional folks who have a life just like you, who are as busy as you are, and they are still doing it, and you can do it too.
Exactly.
And that, like,
Exactly.
yeah, and that part is, I think, the most difficult part to make people understand. And one, I hope that this is kind of the ambassador programs and even these videos kind of can convince people that hey, it's not that difficult. So that's hopefully part of the reason. Yeah, Grace, tell me, like, now John has started a business. I hear he's starting a 3D printing business.
How did you know that?
I have my ears everywhere. Uh, my team is fantastic, actually. That is what it is.
That's some spy stuff.
Okay. How does
Um,
that, like, how is the new business affect what's going on in your life? Because I
so I
because I know I've been through that a few times myself, so I'm interested in knowing how's that going for you.
so he does it just as a side hustle. So I
Okay.
will say that he's not trying to make even a huge profit off of it. And he primarily does it at Christmas.
Mhm.
So it's actually through our friend Mike owns
Okay.
Fabrication Lab, or Fab Lab, we call it for
Uh-huh.
short, which you can find on Facebook. And so he started a 3D printing company, also in the military, also as a side project.
Okay.
The two of them are nerds. They're just big nerds. They love 3D printing. John also has gotten really into laser engraving,
Ah.
especially wood. So at Christmas, he made a lot of custom ornaments and custom wood projects. We gave my mother for Christmas a wooden cutting board that
Okay.
had engraved recipes that were in her mother's handwriting.
Insane.
Yeah.
And John did
She
all
absolutely
this?
cried. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh my God, he must be like the favorite son-in-law in the world.
He's definitely in their books. Yeah.
Oh my God, this man, if he does not get the inheritance, if he's not on the will, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah. Well, they're farmers, so it's not a big will.
I want I want one cow at least.
Yeah.
See, this is how I think what a farm is. It's one
Yep.
cow, one
Yeah.
animal each. Yeah, that's it,
Yeah.
right in my head.
Everybody gets a cow. You get the goat.
This is how city folk people. This is me being a city person. Like, I
Yeah.
love going to farms and I love what they do, but I have no understanding of it.
Yeah.
So this is, oh wow. So he does. This is
Yep.
amazing, yeah. So, like, that is unique. That is so creative, actually.
Yeah.
So he made. Let me just put it together. He made a cutting board engraved with your mother's mom's recipe in her own hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a
Yeah.
guy John is.
Yeah. He is.
Amazing. Amazing. How when you were going through the tough spot, going through the depression, how was John coping with that? How are you? What was he doing to help you?
He was like, I don't think I could have gotten through it without him. He was, if I couldn't sleep, he was up at 4 a.m. with me, just holding my hand, letting me cry. He was the constant in my life. And if I couldn't take care of myself, then he took care of me.
Beautiful.
And he made sure that I could trust him. And that he would, that's the main thing, right? That's the most important thing in a relationship, is trusting your partner and knowing that if you are having a difficult time, they can't make it better, but they can certainly hold your hand through it and support you. And when I came home from the hospital after giving birth, he let me sleep for 5 hours, which is just the best gift you can give a new mom. But when I came down the stairs, and this was at like 2 a.m., because new parents will know you keep weird hours that first month. he had completely reorganized the downstairs to be baby friendly and nursing friendly. So he had a
Wow.
nursing station set up, a changing station set up, just ready to go.
What a guy.
Yeah,
What a guy. But if you think of it, you gave the man this beautiful child
I
that he
know.
could
So,
name. He has the naming rights too.
yeah,
Then yeah, he organized a little bit of furniture. So be it. But wow, but that's amazing.
yeah,
That's so nice to hear. Like I love that. I love hearing stories about like how our new fathers are not like our fathers were, like
yeah,
sitting on the couch with their hands folded, like pointing at things. Like they are as part of that child rearing process as the moms are now.
yeah. He is a very involved dad. Laszlo's face just lights up when Dada comes home, isn't it?
Amazing, amazing. So I feel I feel like this is such a privilege to talk to you guys and talk to people in our community, and so that we have that kind of little bit of insight into their lives, just so that we know what's going on. Because I feel like you know so much about us. It's kind of like, in a way, if we felt left out, and this is our way of catching up to you guys. So thank you very much for allowing me to
Yeah,
do that. Grace, I just want to show you one small thing that we are doing right now, and you will see this coming out, going out with the pre-orders. uh,
oh,
we made our own book. We are publishing our own book.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we started work on it 2 years ago,
Oh,
and part of it was done, part of it was not done, and we are going to get it printed here and there, and it was. And then we said, you know what, we're going to do it, and we're going to send it as a thank you, finish the project and send it as a thank you for to our patrons who got the pre-order stuff, as a kind of, as a small token of their patience, for their patience. So yeah, so this book is coming out. It's like a
oh,
fully illustrated, nice, fun book, like Lil Helper style. If Lil Helper were to make a book, this is the book that Lil Helper would make.
oh, that's awesome. And I see the space dinos. Oh, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
We have like tons of internal references. It's like Lil Helper's. If you are a Lil Helper nerd, you'll love it, because
Oh,
it's tons of things.
fantastic.
So and this is more for the kids and also for the parents as well.
Yeah,
So I'm going to make sure you get one as well. So thank you
fantastic.
again,
Thank you.
Grace, for allowing the time. Say hi to John.
I will.
Please ask him to send me a few links to his business. I want to see his. I'm just interested in what he's doing, and if there's anything
Absolutely.
that I can do to help,
Sure,
please ask.
absolutely.
But thanks again, Grace, for doing this. Truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bob.
Bye, Grace. See ya. Bye,
Bye.
Laszlo. See ya.